In other news, PhilHealth, which had a zero subsidy this year, set to receive over 53 billion pesos in 2026 as the Marcos administration seeks to restore funds for critical agencies. A controversial cash aid program, meanwhile, gets zero funding. Binabanggit has warned government's proposed spending plan for next year.
Both houses of Congress have received the Marcos Jr. administration's proposed 2026 national budget totaling 6.793 trillion pesos, 7.4% higher than the current year. This kicks off the budget season on the heels of intensified scrutiny into flood control projects.
We receive a total budget proposals amounting to 10.101 trillion pesos. And only those within the available fiscal space were considered. We remain committed to reducing the budget deficit.
Under the 2026 National Expenditure Program, or NEP, the Department of Education received the biggest allocation at 928.5 billion pesos. Public Works got the second highest allocation at 881.3 billion pesos. This includes the over 270 billion peso proposed funding for flood control projects. Health ranked far third with 320 billion peso allocation. The Department of National Defense received the fourth biggest funding under the NEP, followed by the DILG. Ranking sixth is the Department of Agriculture, which is proposed to get 239.2 billion pesos next year, including the 10 billion peso allocation for the Benteng Bigas program. Allocation for DSWD and NCSC is the seventh highest, but under the 2026 NEP, there is no funding request for the controversial Ayuda sa Kapos Kita Program or AKAP.
May natitira pa pong pondo for 2025 given our limited fiscal space. Hindi pa po muna natin siya sinama.
It's an ongoing discussion. So we've been seeing how it's been helpful to many of our constituencies. Ang dami pong natutulungan yung hindi po naaabot ng AX dati.
Completing the top 10 biggest allocations under the 2026 NEP are the Department of Transportation, the Judiciary, and the Department of Labor and Employment, combined with the Department of Migrant Workers. The 2026 NEP proposes 10.77 billion pesos for confidential and intelligence funds, 11.18% lower than the current year. The Office of the President has the biggest CIF allocation in the 2026 NEP at 4.5 billion pesos, followed by the Department of National Defense with 1.848 billion. Similar to last year and the current year, there is no CIF requested for the Office of the Vice President. It has a proposed 2026 budget of nearly 903 million pesos under the NEP, slightly higher than the current year. Senate Finance Committee Chair Sherwin Gatchalian says he will not allow funding for charter change or any other items outside the National Expenditure Program to be inserted into the final versions of the 2026 General Appropriations Bill.
As long as walang detailed plan at it wasn't a proposed plan from the executive, hindi natin pwedeng payagan na bigla nilang siya mapapasok sa BICAM.
In his fourth State of the Nation address, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. warned lawmakers against insertions in next year's budget, saying that he would not sign a fresh spending bill if it is not aligned with the National Expenditure Program. Presidential son and House Majority Leader Sandro Marcos gave this assurance.
I will not allow a budget on the floor to pass that is a mutation of the NEP or that is become too far off from the NEP.
Budget briefings at the House of Representatives will start on Monday, 2 weeks ahead of the previous schedule.
We will review every page of the net expenditure program guided by one question. Makakabuti ba ito sa ating mga kababayan? If yes, we will support it. If not, we will work to make it better.
The Senate targets to kick off budget briefings on September 1st. It has also adopted Concurrent Resolution 4 that will, among others, live stream the bicameral conference committee proceedings on the passage of the annual national budget and make budget documents available online in a bid to make the budget process more transparent to the public. Vivian Gulia, ABS-CBN News.
Senator J.V. Ejercito warns local politics and self-interest are hurting the country's flood control programs. Ejercito says lawmakers should not interfere in national projects and must instead follow government's master plan. Now, he also stressed funds should be directed to flood-prone areas.
If it's for flood control, sana we stick to the master plan. Dapat po yung mga district, wag na tayong makialam pag national. National, dapat wag na natin pakialaman. Let it go through para po yung mga spillways, floodways, the big ticket items that are needed, impounding reservoirs, yan po sana ang matuloy. Dapat kung ano yung flood-prone provinces, the flood control budget should be focused on those top 10 flood-prone provinces.
Meanwhile, Ejercito welcomes the over 53 billion peso budget allocated to PhilHealth under the 2026 National Expenditure Program. He urges the agency's new leadership to use the funds effectively and to stop operating like a private corporation.
I will be biased, though, because, as you know, I'm the principal sponsor and author of the Universal Healthcare Act, and any budget that will be allotted for PhilHealth, of course, will be for UHC. Of course, I will support that. It became controversial because of the supposedly reserve funds were tapped for other priority programs. Ang sabi naman ng DOF, it was also used for health related programs. But I'm hopeful that with the new PhilHealth head now, Dr. Mercado, who is a public health practitioner, we got to talk. This time, they will improve the participation of PhilHealth na yung sa hospital bills. They will now try to improve the percentage of their participation. Dati kasi parang private corporation under Ledesma. They were so proud of their reserve funds, of their savings at the end of the year in budgeting. If there are reserve funds or funds that are not being utilized, it will be used for other purposes. So, had PhilHealth used it for its members' benefits, wala sana tayo pinag-uusapang controversy.